Hey there, beautiful people. It's Dana bringing another daily dose. Today is Friday the 13th, and today's the day that's always marked by superstition, that it is an unlucky day, don't travel, don't do things like that. It's also associated with the horror films of Freddy Krueger and all of that. So anyway, I was thinking about like the day itself, like how did it actually get to be this cursed day, and what was the initial meaning behind that? So I did a little bit of study, and what I found was actually fascinating. So I just wanted to share this with you. I don't know if this is a word of encouragement as much as it's something that I think is kind of cool. And I always like to share things that I have gone through or that I've discovered in hopes that it actually enlightens you or helps you. So anyway, I'm going to be reading some notes because I thought I wanted to make sure I get this correct. So the world calls it unlucky, but God calls it finished. So this is what I think is very cool. In Ezra 6:15, the Bible tells us the temple of God was completed, and many Jewish scholars believe that the date aligns with the 13th day of the 6th month. So we are in the 6th month, which is June, and we are on the 13th day. And that's the actual day that God's temple was finished. So I think it also represents completion. I'm just thinking about that now. So on the very day the world now fears, God finished his house. It wasn't a cursed day. It was a consecrated one. So the enemy likes to twist something, whatever God meant for good. The enemy comes in and tries to distort it, steal it, switch it up, make us fear it, whatever that is, and make us change our mind about it. So I thought, why not this one? This is another one of those things that he did. I also want to know, I know Jesus died on a Friday. He died on Good Friday, but did he die on the 13th? On Friday the 13th. So here's what I found out. Jesus did not die on Friday the 13th, but he died on a Friday. It was on the 14th of Nisan, not on the 13th. In fact, most scholars date that crucifixion to be on April 3rd, AD 33. So 33 AD. So the world's superstition is somehow believed that Friday the 13th is tied to his death. I just realized this. I didn't realize that there's a lot of people that think the 13th has some kind of significance to that there was 13 people at the Last Supper. So I was discussing this with my husband, and he was saying, like, in Hebrew culture, like we end our day, our day ends at midnight, but theirs ended at sundown, and then it went on. So the next day would start at that time. So the Last Supper actually was considered to be on that Friday. So he did die on Friday around noon. He was crucified, but we look at that like that was the next day. It wasn't the next day. So this Last Supper would have been on a Thursday night, and then he died on that Friday the next morning. But there's a lot of superstition around the fact that that was a curse. That day was cursed because he died, because 13 people were at that Last Supper. So even the idea that 13 people at the Last Supper caused the curse, that is a lie built on fear, not the truth. So the superstition is the counterfeit spirit. There is a counterfeit spirit here. Superstition plays with fear. It plays with our minds. It mimics spiritual relevance, but leads to anxiety and not peace. It's not the same thing as discernment or wisdom. So my friend Christina always says that superstition is the evil stepsister of discernment. It is just the evil part of discernment. We think that we have discernment and it's really superstition, but it's definitely not biblical. And then the enemy distorts what God designed to be holy. So I didn't even realize that the number 13 actually is a holy number, not a superstitious number. And if the enemy can make you afraid of that number, how much more will he try to make you afraid of your calling, your breakthrough, or any God-given identity? Like, really think about that and let that sink in. If he can distort and make a number on a calendar, which, by the way, Satan didn't create the calendar, God did. God is the one that ordained the calendar. God is the one that created all things, not Satan. Okay, he's a counterfeit. Satan is a counterfeit, and he uses counterfeit tactics, and they're cowardly. But if he can do that with a number and make an entire nation afraid of a number, afraid of the superstition that it's unlucky, don't travel on that day, don't do that, then what else can he possibly use against us in fear? So fear tries to distract you from what God already declared good. God used the 13th to complete something sacred. So why would we avoid a day when God used it for glory? If fear is trying to convince you that a number and a day and a season is cursed, remind yourself who made time in the first place. The enemy doesn't get to define what God calls good. That really hit me hard. What God started, he finishes, even if there is a delay. So in Ezra 6:3, it shows that the temple's work had been stopped for years. There was a delay. How many times have we asked God, like, what is taking so long? Man, I'm in that season right now of my life. It seems like, did I forget something? Why is this taking so long? I'm doing everything you're asking me to do. What is going on? I feel like I'm in this one big constant delay. But man, during this season of delay, God has really shown me how he's developing me and refining me. And even in that process, it can feel very painful, which made me start thinking that it was warfare against the enemy. And it's actually not. It's God pruning and refining. And that process can somewhat be painful. It can actually feel like a delay. So there was a delay in the temple being built. There was also opposition. But when it was time, even the unbelieving kings were used by God to finish the assignment. God will always finish what he starts. If we feel stuck, just because it's delayed doesn't mean it's not divine, doesn't mean that it's denied. And then Haggai 2:9 says that the glory of the latter temple will be greater than the former. So think about that in our own life. Whatever the latter is of our life, the past, what's coming, the former, is so much greater than what was behind us. So finishing the temple wasn't the end. It was just the beginning of something bigger. So the 13th actually represents this completion of something divine and something greater to come. That's what he's doing in us. We're not just meant to survive. We're not meant to be superstitious about things. We're meant to be walking in his glory, walking in the authority of that. So in closing thoughts, I just want to say, when you can look at the 13th, you can now see that as something that is actually divine destiny. It's glorifying God. It is not a superstition. It's not fear. It can remind you that whatever God meant for good can distort and make it evil. And we have the authority over that. The world doesn't determine what is good. God determines what is good. So I say, go and fly today, do whatever you want to do, and enjoy the day, because it's God's day. Today is the day that the Lord has made. Be rejoiceful in it and be glad in it. That's what I want to leave you. So if there is any encouragement, it's that. Today is the day that the Lord had made. It doesn't matter what the number on the calendar is. Whatever God did and whatever he's going to do, he's going to finish it. I promise you, he has a plan for you, and it is good. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed that. I hope it brought a little bit of encouragement to you. So have an awesome day on this Friday the 13th. And I can't wait for us to be back together again. So have an awesome day. Bye.